We can get started, I guess. Well, welcome on, sir. It's great to have you on the opposite side of the table for once, and getting grilled by the community at the end. So yeah, thanks for taking the time.
Of course, appreciate everyone showing up. I know it's probably not the most exciting AMA, but it's
Bit of a razz from both of us.
uh,
I guess I can give you
yeah,
I'll give you a bit of an overview and to the community here more broadly, and then I'll let you dive deeper into yourself and kind of what's going on in your life and what you're working on right now. But as I said, super excited to have you on here. I guess Alucard now has probably been been in the dYdX community for a long time. Been a community manager for dYdX now for it's got to be 4+ months. Really valuable to dYdX community, and also working with myself very closely. And one thing, just to almost pump you up a little bit, it's been great to have someone very experienced and knowledgeable to work alongside, share ideas and really help drive community initiatives. I think one thing that probably doesn't go noticed a huge amount of time in the community is actually a lot of the work does come from Alucard and other community managers. Very much I'm just here driving AMAs. But yeah, I guess, do you want to just give an intro of yourself, and then we can dive a little bit deeper?
yeah, for sure. So, like James mentioned, I'm Alucard. I'm the dYdX community manager for Canada, and also an ambassador for the user onboarding and Education Burrow for the ambassador program. Uh, I guess in sort of how I started my journey in crypto, I guess that's probably a good place to start. Initially, it was mainly trading and learning my lessons slowly, like everybody else in the market over time, making mistakes, and moving from that. At the time DeFi summer came around, that's when I really got into the rabbit hole of everything. That's when a lot of that's when all the exciting DeFi protocols started coming around. That's when you could play around with Uniswap, run synthetics on mainnet, Compound, Aave, and obviously dYdX, at least the first version at the time as well. Then obviously DeFi summer ended, and a lot of my attention at that time shifted towards blockchain education and community management. I saw that as a key part that was clearly lacking. Like, we were creating all these awesome protocols, and we wanted governance to be decentralized in a lot of ways, but we needed to also create those communities to support those and really push the industry forward. So for a while, it was just learning how things could be done, and trying to improve my understanding, so that I could find simple ways of explaining technical details to friends and family at the time, but also to other community members that were joining over time, right? You have community, you have people joining your community, and they want to know how things work, and it's just nice being able to explain and help them out, and help them avoid the mistakes that you made at the beginning at the time. At that time, I was working as an aerospace engineer on big turbofan engines for a bunch of aerospace companies, contracted out of Canada, and I got to do a lot of traveling at the same time. So that also then started my fascination towards crypto, for the matter of this could really be something that's truly global, and the idea of creating global communities and sort of global cooperation on things. And then from there, just joined a bunch of different communities over time, and a bunch of NFT communities when that came around, and obviously dYdX for a while, and then decided to move forward and pursuing the creation of an education platform, which I'll probably talk about later on. But and then moving forward into more of these community management roles to help foster and grow the protocol and everything.
Awesome. I guess when you were working like as an aerospace engineer, were you still like a lot of the time you were tinkering on the side with crypto? I guess what was it about crypto specifically? Was it the complexity? Was it the change elements to the financial markets? Like what really attracted you there to get involved in the ecosystem?
Obviously, I have a big fascination for technology and understanding the nitty gritty details of how everything works, to the last validator node and mining, and sort of how blockchains reach consensus and the different protocols and that technology side of it, and a lot of the coding as well. I did a lot of coding as an aerospace engineer, so that part attracted me a lot. Like what was it about the code that could create this consensus, and how that sort of combined with human behavior as well. And the nice, interesting thing about crypto that really attracted me is that it grows in a very unique way. The way it grows, it's usually from the bottom up. It's like nothing else that you see in any other industry. The growth has to come from the people giving something value. It doesn't come from necessarily somebody at the top telling you something has value. So it's this idea that you have to reach massive consensus in combination with the technology. So that's really what attracted me there.
Sweet. That's really interesting. And when you think about the broader DeFi landscape right now, like what's interesting you? What are you paying attention to? I know definitely the market isn't at its optimal, all-time highs, etc. But yeah, what interests you in this particular landscape right now?
So right now, I'm looking at the explosive growth of what I think will be the L2 ecosystem. Obviously, as well, the merge and how that's going to change a lot of the narratives and a lot of the ways things are built. Also looking at subnets on Polygon, a lot of GameFi stuff, NFT applications, of course, beyond just the use of JPEGs, but using them to verify other things. Like certificates of authenticity, concert tickets, maybe even like real estate titles, and seeing where the application is beyond what has already been created, and then sort of looking at keeping an eye out for where there's market fit on those industries. And obviously as well, reputation tokens, I think this will be good. So that's really what I'm keeping an eye for right now in sort of the DeFi landscape.
Cool. And you mentioned there kind of this sort of NFT side of things. I know you're involved in other kind of ecosystems and projects. I guess, do you want to touch on some of those and sort of what they're doing right now and the value they're providing to the ecosystem?
Yeah, for sure. So I just for context, I have over 560 NFTs from like 30 different communities or so. I've seen a lot of different communities and a lot of models that have worked, and a lot of them that have failed horrifically. And a few of the ones that I've seen work are the ones that really focus on building a brand, not just at least the traditional NFT model is about building more of a brand. So I've seen things like like Wonders is one that I'm really involved in. And they're sort of building this metaverse brand, and that's sort of their focus to make it more of like a cultural NFT rather than something that you just buy once and hold and that's it. And I guess from my experience in all these communities, it really comes down to the NFT is sort of the ticket into the community, but the actual value has to come from something beyond the NFT, some utility beyond that. Like everything else. If you think about it, an NFT is just an ICO token with a pretty picture. And that's really what it is. And you need some utility beyond that and some value add. And that could take many shapes, right? That could just be emotional value, where people feel welcome in a community and they can grow with other people in there, and they go there every day and they enjoy being part of that. And that provides them emotional value, and that gives value to the collection. People often don't think about that, but there's also the technological side of it, where you could have like a game and there's an NFT attached to it, or different things, right? But I think the best projects are the ones that have a combination of those things and really focus on building something that's sticky within the community, because right now we're seeing a downturn. Prices are not great, things are not great. So when the monetary incentive is gone, all that you really have left is that community and what you've built beyond just price incentives.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess let's talk about your passion for education and teaching in the ecosystem. Like, where does that stem from?
Yeah, a lot of that came from a lot of frustration trying to challenge misinformation from people saying things that were just incorrect. And a lot of it came from the desire of wanting to explain to others what the technology was and how they could use it within their own industries, right? So a lot of my mindset has always been about empowering people to be able to take advantage of technology. That's sort of what my mindset has been as an engineer for a while. And sort of that fits very nicely into the education side, where the more people can understand what's true and what's not about the technology and how they could leverage it in whatever industry they're on and whatever passion they may have, then they find ways of adding a net positive value to society. And I think that's a lot of what drives me in terms of the education, sort of the empowerment that other people can have as a result of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess then, touching on that, do you want to roll over to your kind of other project, Ultrasound Finance, and tell us about that platform?
Yeah, for sure. So Ultrasound Finance is it's a DeFi education platform, and it's what it is. It's an aggregator of information, right? So what it does is it takes resources from multiple educational sources within crypto, and it combines them and it puts them together in one sort of hub, so that you're able to find all the information, and it also organizes it in a way that it makes sense from a learning perspective. From an early stage, beginner stage, intermediate, or advanced stage, because at the end of the day, everybody is at a different point in their educational journey. Some people are coming fresh new, some people have been around for a bit, but they want more technical details, or they want to dive deeper into different rabbit holes. So that's what it is. There's it's all free on the platform. It doesn't cost anything to sign up and do some of the educational courses there. And really, it's meant to help a lot of the beginners sort of understand the fundamentals and then progressively get to sort of the DeFi side of things. Obviously, there's a ton of work to be left on that platform. Anything from program to now a lot of the layer 2 stuff and a lot of the NFT information. And this whole industry moves so quickly. It's hard to capture all the information and compile it in a fast enough fashion that it makes sense. Because at the same time, you're playing with different narratives that people spin around, and you got to be careful not to give false information or information too prematurely to the point that it's not going to be true in like 2 months from now. So that's part of it. There's a lot of work being done there, and sort of the roadmap for that is to eventually try to move it into a learn to earn model. And the idea with that is to provide monetary incentives or some sort of tokenomic incentive to be able to help encourage people to learn the fundamentals or learn about new projects. Because I feel the more educated the whole market is about everything that's going on, the better it is, the more iterations you can do on the open source protocols, and the more people can innovate as a result.
Awesome. No, it looks great. I've posted that link in the Hedgies General channel if anyone wants to check that out. Cool. I guess we could then move on to the Ambassador Program. Be great to hear your experiences and share with some of the members in here who may want to become one as part of the Ambassador Program.
Yeah, for sure. So, as you know, I've joined the User Onboarding and Education Burrow. I've already explained why. I have a passion for education. But sort of the mission with that right now is really to, again, do that same thing, aggregate the information of the entire dYdX ecosystem and be able to present it to anyone that wants to join the ecosystem for whatever reason they may want to join. There's some people that have joined dYdX and they want to join just for trading. So they want the information on how to trade and use the platform. That's the idea, is to present that through dYdX Academy, and that everything will be there. There's people that just care about hedges, and that's really where their passion is, and they love NFTs, and all the information is there as well. And obviously then there's people that want to get more involved in governance and the DAO and the ambassador program, and sort of all that information. The idea is to compile it all and really present it in a way that people can get to where they want to get within dYdX. And in terms of advice for sort of joining the ambassador program, I would say just find some way to contribute value to the community in whatever way you want. That could be newsletters, it could be updates for international communities, it could be article writing or videos or any sort of these things, or even assessment and risk analysis. There's so many areas to push the whole project forward, and we really do need everyone's help, right? If we're going to turn dYdX into a truly decentralized DAO in a way, and protocol that's truly global, we need everybody involved from all walks of life to contribute. So the opportunity is there. I really think it's show you can show that you can add some value to the protocol and the community, and chances are you'll find yourself in at least the ambassador program pretty quickly.
Sounds good. That's really good advice. I think the other thing is just really push that content or whatever value you can provide. Like make it be seen, whether that's through like the Discord, Twitter, etc., DMing those particular ambassadors. I think that's really important that you can self-highlight your work as well, as it definitely is a bit of a minefield out there. What other interesting things then, Alucard, are you working on in the user onboarding and Education Burrow right now?
Yeah, so we're working on a full dYdX educational course. And the idea then is also to translate that into multiple languages, so that if you have somebody that's even new to crypto altogether and you think they may be interested in dYdX or even just learning what it's about, even if they're not a trader, those will facilitate that and make it easy to follow and really good. And then the other big side of it is, again, translating a lot of the educational material that already exists to different languages. We really want to expand, to all regions of the world, really. And that's going to require a lot of work to translate the educational content so that people can access it and get onboarded into the ecosystem a lot easier.
Yeah, super excited about that one. I think this is really going to be a huge value add to dYdX more broadly. I think if anyone can help in that sense and wants to claim a bounty on trying to translate some documents in your respective region, then awesome, because I think this one thing here can be or will be a huge impact come full decentralization at the end of the year.
Yeah,
I think it's just one thing that you can really make your mark as part of the dYdX community on and be really proud of contributing to. It's definitely in its early days, so the more the merrier, really. And if you are interested, reach out in the DMs or check out the bounties.
Yep. And in terms of all the information, the idea is to make everything, every aspect of dYdX accessible from the dYdX Academy .info page, and sort of have that branch out into all the different parts of the ecosystem, so that people can explore from there, go from there and explore and learn all the details about, all the different programs and go from there.
Sweet. Cool. I guess next thing then, should we where do you see this kind of like long term? Like, where in your mind do the burrows end up? Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. So the burrows is interesting because it's in a way the way in which we onboard community members into the project and into what will eventually be the dYdX DAO. So later in the year, after everything, I really see us moving towards a more complete DAO structure where we really have different components. Obviously, we got the foundation, and we got the grants program, and now the ambassador program, and obviously there's the main trading Inc. So I think part of it is going to be combining all these different programs, perhaps not in name, but in sort of communication and in relationship to really work as one cohesive unit. Obviously, still separated, and the power of, it's not centralized in the sense that it's one unified structure. It's individual programs, but they're all cohesively working together. So I really see the ambassador program as a way for, say, new users to join the ambassador program and then join the actual dYdX DAO through there into more significant roles later down the line as well. That's really what I see that going, and really we'll see. I mean, these things are really hard to predict because there's so many people, so many perspectives involved. And I think it's going to be a combination of what the community and what the core team, those two are going to converge and they're going to merge at some point. And it's going to look completely unique and different from those individual parts.
Sweet. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good overview of it. And shall we, when you are talking earlier about bounties then, so what's the overall goal of that? Is kind of there going to be a flurry of bounties that are going to be streamlined throughout the seasons? What's sort of your burrow's responsibility for that? Yeah,
so obviously right now there's about 3 or 4 members for each burrow in terms of ambassadors, and to create the impact that we want to create, there isn't enough hours in the day, and there's a lot of different work that needs to be done. And so the bounties are really meant to complement the areas in which we need additional help with, or in which we need to, we would like to find community talent to help us out if we feel that it can be done better, or in our case, translation. So right now we got a few bounties up for translating the Hedgies info page, and then we'll have subsequent bounties for translating all the grants and the grants info page and the DAO info page and all the different documentation into multiple languages. Because I only speak 2 languages. I speak English and Spanish, but I don't speak Russian or Mandarin or Ukrainian or any sort of those, or French really. So that's really what we need a lot of help right now, translating. So feel free to check out those bounties and give us a hand with that, making sure that the content is not only translated, but that it's understandable and is accurate to the original intent, I suppose.
Sweet. Yeah, super excited about those. Cool. I guess we can open up the floor anyway now, and just to bring anyone up, who anyone wants to ask any questions to Alucard. At the same time, we'll obviously continue on our conversation, but if anyone wants to come up, do raise your hand and we can bring you up.
Good evening. Possible? Good evening. Do you hear me?
All good, Nico?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I'm very glad to hear that and also observe bounties about translations, because like I tell on previous our discussion, I think it's very important to bring additional info for people who actually not so good in English, and for them actually can be very hard to understand most of info what we got in our announcements and so on. So another one thing that I'm just asking to check DM, because I write for you, GM, about translation, and this one message already, I think, maybe 1 week without any replying, because I also advise same idea about translations for our Russian leader, Altraseni, but like we discuss some stuff about translations, but I still don't got any answers about this one. And also about trading strategies, I post one of them in Bounty board, but I still don't got any reply on it or any info that if somebody check it or somebody satisfied with filling this one or no.
Bro, yeah, Nico, for sure. Can you DM me again if you wouldn't mind, like now, so I can actually be notified of that. For some reason, my Discord can play up. I do respond to all DMs, so can you DM me again and I'll respond there. In terms of kind of the translation element of things, I think, yeah, I mean it's a huge like step in the right direction, I think, of where we really want to go. I'm well aware that actually sort of joining the ambassador program, sort of contributing to the ecosystem, does naturally favor kind of like proficient English speaking users and does sort of I guess hinder numerous sort of regions in that sense. So I think trying to open this up to almost, you know, increase Bounty's responsibilities to a lot, and I think over time, once the grants program gets back up and running and we can actually like fully utilize some funding for the bounties, is definitely something that we're looking forward to and can really increase the scope of what type of bounties we do there. And to your third point, which borough was that sent under? Sorry, I think Alucard, you'll probably know more than me. Like, how quickly do people typically get back for bounty discussions?
Sometimes right away. I think it's very quick, actually. We're paying attention. But
so I make both posts with first trading strategy and second one about translation on Google Docs, and I just post links to my Google Docs, because for me much more easier to prepare full strategy or translation there and then later to send. And also I got one question. I want to ask this on previous hour AMA, but don't got opportunity on this on my matter. So about bounties, that there will be like leaderboard, but I got one question. For example, if we got one bounty and there will be approximate 5 person who wanna to reach this, and in case if each time will be same person who will apply on this one bounty, I think it won't be fair for another people who also try to get on it. I mean that it will be great if there will be, for example, like for one person, for example, just translation of one article, for next bounty, he cannot be apply exact on this one topic, but another people can do this. I mean that there will be like something like monopoly.
Yeah,
or something.
I understand.
No, we will obviously try to give equal opportunity to everybody on these bounties, but it's also going to depend on the quality of the work and all these things.
Yeah. And also, I'm very excited how you will check quality of translation on language which actually you don't know. Because, for example, using Google Translate, it's not correct. Because even in case if you use Google Translate, most of idea of text will be missing. That's why for each translation you need to spend quite a lot of time to make all these acronyms, synonyms, and all terms to be much more clear for people who are not familiar with the whole topic.
Our plan with that is also to send the translations through the individual community channels, and everybody can take a look and give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if they feel the translation is good enough. It's very difficult for us not knowing a lot of the languages, so we'll have to rely on the community feedback to make sure that it's accurate and it makes sense.
Yeah, and Nico, just quickly as well on that. I think one thing we can also try and utilize are, like, if we realize that certain members of the community are providing higher quality translation over time, then definitely I think if they want to continue to provide that value, it's definitely something that we'd look at. I think in terms of a leaderboard as well, we're definitely looking at different sort of platforms for that. Currently, sort of, I guess the one we're using on dWork, there is kind of a leaderboard element to it, but I'm not sure if you can assign certain tasks and give them different sort of weighting points. There is other platforms that we're using where we may say, hey, you know, this particular bounty is worth a lot more sort of like XP than a standard sort of like, let's say I don't know, just a couple of tweets, etc. or something. So yeah, we're definitely thinking of ways of like how to, I guess, structure that leaderboard to make it as fair as possible.
Thanks for reply. It's very clear for me. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nico.
Anybody else got questions? We don't have anything. I did promise some alpha, so I do have that.
I think like one thing that just like Nico touches on a good point, doesn't he? Just like how we can really think about structuring some form of process so that potentially at the end of a season we can look back and say, hey, this person has sort of like done the most bounties, or this person has earned the most experience because these bounties are, say, require more quality and quantity, etc. And try and probably think of ways that we can really of structure that will be pretty important.
Yeah, I think we'll need to have a lot of discussions between all the ambassadors and really brainstorm what that structure looks like and what makes sense in order to reward, people that have completed a lot of bounties and high work, but also making sure that like Nico said, it's not a monopoly in which other community members can't get a bounty or can't get involved.
Yeah, for sure. And if anyone has had the experience of that and been involved in numerous bounty programs and in different DeFi projects and have been pretty impressed by how they've structured it, then by all means share the ideas in the channels and we can definitely check that out. Cool.
All right.
Do you want to drop some alpha?
Yeah, I'm actually going to do a couple of things. The first thing is I'm going to drop some alpha, and then I'm actually going to do a personal NFT raffle here for one of the NFTs in my collection. to people that took time out of their day to come and listen here to me rant for a bit.
Oh, sweet.
So the first alpha is I encourage everyone listening here to be subscribed to the dYdX Academy YouTube channel. You might find it's worth your while to be subscribed to that channel.
dYdX Academy YouTube. Sweet.
Yeah, the dYdX Academy YouTube channel. The second bit, and this will be the raffle, I'll post. We'll do it live here as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm posting a link on the Hedgies general chat. I'm opening this form. You have 2 minutes, I guess, to drop your Discord name and address in here. And I'll close it after 2 minutes. And then I'm going to share my screen and we're going to spin a wheel of names to find the winner.
Sweet. Can you share your screen on a Discord on a stage channel? I'm just double checking.
No, I cannot.
Yeah.
Well, I'll post a screenshot then of the winner.
Yeah, we trust you.
I'll spin the wheel. You'll see it land on someone's name.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. Cool. Yeah, and I think
And
what types of NFTs have you got in there?
so the price is going to be a Rocketeer NFT. It's the official collection of Rocket Pool.
Sweet.
So if you are running a Rocket Pool validator, you can actually set this NFT as your profile picture for that Rocket Pool node. So and I picked this one because I encourage everyone to learn more about the Rocket Pool and ETH staking. I think it's really important to everybody, if they can, to run a validator in order to keep the protocol safe and decentralized as we move forward past the merge.
Sweet, exciting, cool. So everyone, subscribe to the dYdX Academy YouTube channel. And when will you post the winner?
I'll do it right away.
That's sweet.
My idea was to spin the wheel live, but since I can't share my screen, I'll just put a screenshot of the winning name after I spin it.
Sweet. Sounds good to me.
I'll close it in the next 30 seconds. Again, the form is in the dYdX general channel.
Sounds good to me. I think also, one thing that Stark Wales also said to me in the past about kind of like the sort of bounties, at the end of season 1, we're probably going to have a bounty winner at the end, and we'll probably have like a bounty winner runner-up type thing, 1, 2, and 3 that may get a certain prize from the foundation and or ambassadors. So yeah, definitely there's incentives to also, whilst there currently is only kind of like POAPs and small amounts of USDC, there will eventually be kind of like dYdX as rewards there over the next probably month. That will be sorted, and yeah, there'll definitely be prizes, etc. for those who have the most XP and POAP points. Bounty points at the end of seasons.
That's some pretty good alpha right there, actually. All right, I will spin this fantastic wheel right now and post a screenshot of it. You guys can't see it, the spinning, but trust me, it's very exciting. Yeah, I'm posting in the Hedgies general.
I'm gonna close the.
Right.
Delete the form. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
There it is.
Oh,
The B12A1A.
it's sweet.
Message me.
B12A1N. I noticed this Hedgie has been pretty active actually recently, so congratulations. That's
Yes, sir.
look at that.
Add me on Discord. And actually, I got your address. Never mind. You don't have to do anything. I'll just send it to you. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations. Sweet. Thanks for that, Alucard. That's awesome. A nice bit of a game at the end of an AMA. That's a first.
Yeah.
Cool. Is anyone else got anything that they want to add?
Get involved.
Yeah.
There's plenty of opportunity in this community, especially right now during, there's not much going on in terms of hype and price action and sort of a little bear market. So it's time to build. It's time to get involved and yeah,
definitely
come work with us.
Yeah, and look, if anyone, I think there's so many ways you can get involved. I mean, even if there's just like, I know there's no price discussion, etc. But if there's any, if you want to go through governance and discuss tokenomics, then that's something you should reach out to the Governance Burrow for. And I think one thing to make it a little bit clearer is I'll probably end up adding certain tags on Discord to make it clearer who certain ambassadors are, so people can reach out specifically. But I guess if there's people wanting to reach out about anything dYdX, community management, ambassadorship, like Ultrasound Finance, the Academy, like where is it just best to kind of DM you, Alucard, and you'll speak through there?
Yeah, I think so. DM me, tag me on the channel. So I usually reply unless I'm asleep. But I'll eventually reply, and we can chat about it. I don't mind hopping in a call with anybody and sort of spending 15, 20 minutes just chatting about resources and ways to do things and get involved.
Fantastic. Cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll end there. Thanks for tuning in, 38 of you, which is awesome. We didn't last as long as the Burrow, which is absolutely fine because they're still vibing in there. But we'll see what time they'll finish there. But yeah, we'll call that a day, and then I will post this hopefully on YouTube in the next few hours, and then anyone can check this out. But congrats, B12A1N, on your NFT. Cool.
Awesome.
Cheers, Alucard.
See you guys.
Thanks for that.